What's going on, guys? Welcome to Kayvon Invests. My name is Kayvon, and today I want to talk about some very important talking points that not a lot of channels go through. One of the biggest questions I get from first-time investors is, Kayvon, how do I invest in the stock market? What stocks should I buy? What stocks are going to make the most money? And how much money should I put into certain stocks? Now, a lot of these videos that you see online for first-time investors will talk about how to do certain market orders, like stop losses and placing after hour trades, and just some basic fundamentals. But I don't see a lot of channels talk about how to actually navigate through research platforms. For this video, I want to focus on TD Ameritrade specifically. I think it's one of the best brokerages that you could sign up for. And I think that their research platform is some of the most comprehensive ones that you can find online. I just want to show you a quick overview on what's actually available to you on TD Ameritrade. And I think this is going to help you because it's going to show you how to actually think about stocks and what kind of indicators you want to be looking for, and just have an overall understanding of what's going on in the market, where the money is moving, and how you should be thinking from day to day, especially if you're a day trader or swing trader. I think this video will serve you extremely well. And I just think it's something that everybody in general should be well informed about. And when you go on TD Ameritrade's website, on the top, and I'm using a desktop here, on the top of the page, you'll see research and ideas. I think this is something that everyone should be spending first thing in the morning, especially if you want to take trading a little more seriously and it's something that's going to be at least a part-time thing for you. Then you want to be sitting down and skim through a lot of these resources that are available to you, because it's only going to help you. Just starting off with an overview, if you scroll down here, you can see the major indexes here: Dow Jones, S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and you can see today's change. So in this case, the Dow Jones was down 0.39%, S&P 500 1.31%. So big drops there. One of the first things I do when I get up and start getting ready to trade is I just look at the indexes and see how everything's moving. I can also take it beyond that point, so I can continue to scroll down and look at the different sectors. I mean, it's got everything here from communication services to consumer discretionary, energy, financials, healthcare, utilities, real estate, you name it. It's all there. All the sectors are there, and you can see today's change, how it's moving from 1 month to 3 months. What this does is it gives you an idea of where the money is moving. What industry is getting the bulk of the money, and what's the top performer for the day. So if you look at the 1 month performance of all these sectors, it looks like energy is the top performer in this case. So as somebody who's just wondering where I want to put my money into, what sector should I be focusing on? A good start is to maybe look into a sector that's, the top performer. In this case, it looks like it's going to be energy. So if you want to continue your research beyond that, you can just click on energy and see how it's moving for the day, for the past 3 months, for the past year, all the way up to 5 years, down 7.75%. You can look at a 12-month trend here and see how the line's moving on the chart. You can continue to scroll down, see what the market cap of the energy industry is. So in this case, 1.4 trillion. And what's really cool about TD Ameritrade is that it's going to show you the top company movers for energy specifically. So you can look at all the stock symbols down here from DELKY. It's going to show you the percent change for the day, up 19.4%. So that's a significant win there for anyone holding that stock. But anyway, you get the idea. So it's going to show you the top movers, and that's based on performance. You can also look at company highlights here. There's different analyst ratings that are available, and it'll show you what companies are being upgraded or downgraded. That's just another thing to think about. If there's a particular company that you like that happens to be on this list, you can actually just click on the company. We'll use this one as an example. And here you can see the latest news for that company. So all the different publications will come out with some sort of headline here. Here you're seeing the ratings. You could see a reduced rating. The Street says to sell. Ford Equity Research gives it a 5, more negative. And there's different PDFs that you could view. You just click on it and you can continue to analyze it further. I won't do that in this case for the sake of the length of the video, but I just want to show you, but I just simply want to show you what resources do exist on the platform so you can kind of get a better idea of how you should be researching and navigating through the platform. So just from a perspective of someone who's been trading for many years, I can kind of just walk you through some of the things that I do. I'm just doing this to share my insight so that I can maybe help somebody who's not as familiar with the platform as I am and what's actually there available to you. What's really cool as well, and that's available to you, is the event calendar on TD Ameritrade. So you can actually see how many earnings announcements there are, how many dividends, rating changes, splits, IPOs, which means initial public offering. That's basically when a company finally goes public and it's available to be traded by the public. Conference calls, so everything's here. Now, if I'm curious about earnings announcements, I can click this and I can see what's going on in the market. I can just expand this earnings tab here. What's really cool here is I can actually click this volume button and I can listen to the earnings calls for myself and make my own determination as to whether it was a positive call or a negative call. I think it's in every trader's best interest to do your due diligence and take the time to actually look into these things, especially if you're investing a significant amount of money into a company. But here I can just click on Snowflake and I can see the quarter results here. Again, we could do some further analysis of this, but that's going to be on a separate video. We also have investor conferences down here if you're really interested in listening in or reading on what's going on within a company. If you're out there investing your hard-earned money, it is in your best interest to do all of this and put the time in to just do your own research. I always try not to go off of some headline that I see and just get excited and pump a bunch of money into a company. I really want to be well informed and know exactly what I'm getting into. So going back to research and ideas, you can click on news and it'll just show you all the different company news, and you can filter this out based on sectors like we did before. So let's go back to sectors and industries here. Now you can see the sector performance versus the S&P 500 here. You can see healthcare, consumer discretionary, and information technology underperformed the S&P 500 today. So this gives you a little bit of insight as to where the money is moving as far as sector. I just think it's one little extra piece of information that you can equip to your research to kind of give you a little bit of an advantage as to what's going on for the day. And it possibly could get you to think about making a different trade, or possibly, letting you know that maybe now is not the best time to invest in a specific sector. So that's just, that's just another reason why I like to look and analyze all this stuff, because it doesn't hurt to do so. And every little information that you can gain is just going to increase your chances in being successful with your investments. Scrolling down a little further, you can see rating momentums here. So you could see what's negative or positive momentum. S&P 500, which is your benchmark, that looks like it's positive. Buy, sell ratios, annual dividend yields, PE ratios, market cap, it's all there. All great indicators and great resources to look at. If I'm curious about IPOs and I want to just find out what's going public today, this could be great for highly anticipated companies. Some examples of recent IPOs that might have sparked a lot of market interest are Airbnb. You've got Uber, Lyft, you have Snowflake. I mean, so many companies IPO'd in the last year, and IPOs have done incredibly well in the past year. That could be for many reasons. If you want to look at IPOs, equity IPOs here, you've got 4. You could see the amount offering, number of shares that are offered, an expected price range that could be, $36 to $38 a share. Again, that's going to vary on a lot of factors, but here you can just get an idea of what's going public. And if you want to get your hands on something right on the start when it's available, it's a great resource to utilize. And when I get up in the morning, and I just want to give you some perspective as to what I do. So I always get on TD Ameritrade. I go on the market overview and see what's going on with the indexes. So Dow Jones average, S&P 500, and NASDAQ. See what's going on and how the money's moving for the day. I scroll down, I look at the different sectors and try and get an idea of who's performing, who's underperforming. I continue that further. I can look at the highest volumes for the day. So right at the start of the day, I can get an idea of what stocks are being sold and purchased the most for that day. Usually with high volume stocks, there tends to be some catalyst behind that. And what I mean by that is there's some sort of company news or event that's occurring to cause so much high volume of buying and selling. For new investors, if you're just wondering what stocks to buy, you can very simply just go on this platform every day, spend a few minutes, and just start getting familiar with the market itself. You don't want to just ask all these traders, what stocks do you buy? What should I put my money in? Because you're really not going to learn anything by doing that. You want to actually get familiar with the market itself and what's actually happening in the world. It's actually a really great resource for news too. If you want to just read news, you can actually look at news categories, so you can figure out stocks to watch here. You can learn more about Cathie Wood and ARK Invest. There's just so much on here that you could use to your advantage. You can learn about dividends and earnings, corporate news. You can look at upgrades and downgrades, see what's going on in the economy. Here, for example, Senate Democrats change eligibility for direct payments in COVID-19 aid bill. Well, that's something that's general economy news, right? It's not just company or stock specific news, but it could affect how the market is doing or might do in the future. It's always just good to be informed. You want to, when you're an investor and you're really active in the market, you really just want to be educated and understand what's actually happening in the world, in the country and other countries, what's happening with policy, international news here. You have IPOs, again, initial public offerings, personal finance. You can learn about options and ETFs, futures, commodities. There's just so much on here. And just going back to that big question for beginner investors, what company should I invest in and where should I put my money? Well, just log into the website, click on research and ideas, and just start learning. And lastly, although there is so much on this platform, just one more quick thing I want to touch up on is the education tab. So there's a whole education center here that will actually teach you a lot of things on different topics like income estimator, how to buy stocks, and 4 steps for beginners, popular chart studies. I mean, you name it, everything's here, and you have a legitimate source that you can learn about. Instead of listening to YouTubers like me, you can actually go on this website and see what's going on. You can learn about stocks, investing basics, stocks, options, learn about options trading, bonds. You have futures here, personal finance tips, how to prioritize your savings. I mean, there's just so much. Again, it's a great platform. And actually, that reminds me, with stocks, if I click on, let's say, Ford here, you do have some charts analysis. Now, there is more comprehensive software that's actually made by TD Ameritrade. It's called Thinkorswim, but that's more for elite level trading. But what's cool here is you can look at one-day charts and see how the company is performing. So this is, again, Ford. And as I move my cursor here, it'll show me the time up here. And it'll show me the open value, high, low, and close. You could see the volume, average volumes here. You could see if it was overbought or oversold and rate of change. So just so many indicators here. You can actually play with this and select different upper indicators. So here you got the SMA, EMA. Again, that's a whole separate video. But again, just showing you what's actually available here. So there you have it. I hope you learned some stuff about the TD Ameritrade platform, and hopefully I got you thinking as to how you should approach your research in finding new stocks to invest in. I have a 50 subscriber goal. I would really appreciate it if you could show me some support by clicking that subscribe button, giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content, and also writing a comment below onto your thoughts or any questions you have. Giving the videos a thumbs up and commenting greatly help the video perform better in terms of views, and it helps me get more exposure to build the channel. I'm also going to try to upload at least one video every week moving forward. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.